My name is Stephen Dwyer, and I am a staffer for the House Majority Leader in the United States Congress. And I have been the lead on a successful app from within and built in the Majority Leader's office in the United States Congress. And it's been very successful for 6 years now. And I'm excited to have this opportunity to share it with other colleagues around the world who do similar work in parliaments and legislatures. And hopefully you can learn from it. And hopefully you can reach out to me individually if you want to do a similar project and I can collaborate with you. Thank you, Bússola Tech, for this opportunity. So the app is called Dome Watch. It's on iOS and Android. There's even a web version, domewatch.us. And we made it originally in 2015, so it's 6 years old now. We have had 3 major iterations. We're currently building 4.0. It is not targeted like a lot of apps for legislatures. It's not targeted at the public. It is instead targeted at our members of the United States House and our staff. It's designed to make our members and staff lives more easy. And but we also, it's not an internal app. We made it available to the public, and therefore it's also a big transparency win because lots of the public, civic society, the press, academics that follow the U.S. House closely also love the app, and it shines a light on the House of Representatives in a way that didn't exist before the app. So, so it's really only interesting to people that really care about the vote by vote happenings in the United States House of Representatives. But that's still a pretty large and important and influential universe. So we have over 50,000 installs currently, but we are especially proud of 10,000 heavy active users. Our app is used by 10,000 people every single time the House of Representatives has votes. And we know that that is mostly actually members of Congress, both parties, and lots of staff, but also lobbyists and also press and civic organizations. So we are very proud of that, and that's why we have pressure to keep making new and new versions with new features, and it keeps the innovation cycle continues. So I'm just going to give you a quick background and tell you what the app does and how we came up with it, and et cetera. So we in the Majority Leader's office, Congressman Steny Hoyer is my boss. He's the Majority Leader. He's been the #2 Democrat for many years, and he has valued innovation, and he's allowed myself to work with programmers to a very agile way to make apps. We actually have a couple other apps, and we run the intranet for Democratic staff, but that's all possible just because a member of leadership, who of course has a little bit more budget than a normal member of Congress, decided to use that limited budget to innovate and to make tools that are actually useful to members. Now, since he's Majority Leader, he's elected by his members of Congress. So making interesting, innovative tools that help those people who are the ones that elect him, of course, that's in his interest. And so that has been the motivation, and that has worked very well for us. So we, as the Majority Leader, Mr. Hoyer has 2 primary roles, and that is running the House floor, deciding which bills we vote on in the House, and then also just dealing with the calendar, like which days are we going to have votes, which days are we not going to have votes. Now, those are, ordinary things that all legislatures have to do, that all organizations, just scheduling. But of course, it's incredibly important. And before we had this app, the calendar was a PDF. And that, from a technologist, that's just a disaster and old. And I know that that's the way, a whole lot of calendars still are. And then the vote information, hey, everyone, we're voting right now on this bill. All Democrats are urged to vote yes or no. That information was just an email, of course. And it still does go out in email for people that want to get that information in email. But the real innovation of our app was this information should be presented in a modern, technological, advanced way. And so I know it's simple, but it really made a big difference. So on the calendar, before we could even make the app, we had to put it in a fully digital format, like a webcal, iCal, where we're publishing calendar information in the latest technological standards. And so that people can not just look at a PDF, but they can add the entire calendar, including future updates, to their Google Calendar and to other, their whatever calendar they use. And that's why we use an open standard. That also made adding the calendar to the app very easy. So once we had it in a modern webcal, we were able to add it into the app and have things in the app like notifications for different days, whether they're votes or not. And then finally, those emails that were going out, the much more urgent, like the House is taking a vote right now, come to the floor to vote, members, instead of sending that in just email, because everyone's email is a mess. Nobody can read their email, and nobody wants their phone to buzz every time an email comes in, because then their phone would be buzzing nonstop. So instead, we just put that information in its nice own clean app, and members did want their phone to buzz when they got a vote alert from us. And so that is very simple, but members love it to have this information about when the House is voting, and whether that's next month or in the next 5 minutes. They want that information in its own clean app with customizable notifications so that they can have it buzz or make noise or whatever they want. And so that was our original innovation. That was 1.0 back in 2015, to just provide that scheduling information in a very modern way. And it was very successful. And I would say one thing, the reason that it was successful is we built off we took care to build it so that we didn't have to have staffers dedicated to running it. For example, those note emails, we just built it technologically so that it consumed them, so that not that we had to have a staffer posting them all the time, because that we don't have extra staff to dedicate to this new app. We built this in a very agile way. And so that's been very successful. So that's 1.0. And then 2.0, because it was so successful, members on the would come up to my boss, the majority leader, and they'd say, "Love your app, Mr. Hoyer, Leader Hoyer, but why can't you tell us how much time is left in a vote? Why can't you have a timer on the app?" And that's just one example, but they'd come up to them and have lots of ideas for what should be in the app. And we love that, and we get a lot of feedback from members and staff, and we consider what's technologically possible and what would be the most helpful to members. And so 2.0, the big feature was adding that information. So when we're in a vote, usually it's about a 15-minute vote. Of course, during COVID, the votes are much longer. But pre-COVID, it was 15 minutes on a vote, and members got to get there within 15 minutes if they're going to actually vote. But then also important is members want to see the score. They want to see how many Democrats or Republicans have voted yes or no on this bill. That's the most important information. They normally vote with their own party. And so when they're running to the floor to vote, they want to pull up their phone and they want to see how much time they have left to vote. And they want to see how their fellow party members have voted, because that's probably how they're going to vote if they don't know that already. So that is that's what we added. Now, what's funny is that information existed already in the TV stream, which went to the public via C-SPAN, which is just the network that carries the Parliament and here in the United States. But that information did not exist on the internet anywhere, and it did not exist. Therefore, apps, it did not exist anywhere. We asked our clerk, our parliamentary staff, well, you have this information and you're giving it to the TV camera feed that is overlaid on the TV cameras whenever we're in a vote. Why can't you give it to us in a digital feed so that we can use it in our app, which members are all using and asking for? And well, partly just bureaucratic problems. They just said, well, maybe, but they wouldn't give it to us. And we pressured them and didn't get any success. So what we did was we hacked it. We took the TV screen and we put the TV feed on it on a computer, and we took snapshot images of it, and we sent it up to a cloud intelligence service. We were using Google Cloud for photo, Google Vision they call it. It's just their AI service for cloud. And we would just say, hey, Google, tell me in this image what the OCR it, turn it into numbers and characters. And so then we had that data feed, and we were able to like show it in our app, and we also released it to the public. Again, a transparency win. It was used by other third parties. And so I love that story that we just were able to hack the system, even though we're inside the system. And our members loved it. They could see right in the app how much time is left and how much and which parties have voted which way during a vote. So that was 2.0 of our app. What's funny is that about a year later, the TV feed changed their fonts for the current vote time and information. And that broke, we had optimized our code to certain fonts and stuff. So it broke the code. And that gave an opportunity for me to go back to the clerk office and say, damn it, we have done this and to great cost and effort to get this information through, non-normal means. Can't you just please give us the information? And then I finally got approval. And so now we no longer have to do that. I think it's a good example of if you can't, or if you're not given the information and you can hack your way into it and find it in a positive way, then you should do that. And eventually the institution will catch up and provide that information if they see that members and staff actually really wanted and used and found that information useful. So that was 2.0. 3.0, members kept asking for, well, you provide almost all this information. Why not just give us the full video of the House floor as well? And that surprisingly didn't already exist. It existed on cable television, but it did not, there was no public live stream. There was, but it was actually in standard definition. It was not HD. It was very tiny little box and looked terrible. And it was many minutes delayed. It was not live. And so we thought, well, why isn't there an HD web stream of the video of the House floor? There should be. We're the majority leader. We should make that happen. And again, we asked for it from the people that do the TV on the House floor. And, I think just sort of in bureaucratic inertia, they didn't want to change the way things happen. So we made it happen ourselves again. We just did a YouTube live stream constantly every day of just the TV. We put the TV on a computer and we did a live stream, sending it up to the internet. And that's the way we got full HD video. And if it was a copyrighted material, that would be not fair of us. But this was the video of the House of Representatives, which is of course public product, and of course we're not even making money off of it. We are just trying to provide more information to our members and staff. So that was another fun example of how we were able to take the information that we needed, even if we weren't given official permission. And we're currently now still, again, working with them to say, hey, look, we're going to great effort to do this, but why don't you just give it to us? And not just us, but the public, so that other people can use the live video of the floor in however ways they want to, because it's public information. So that is the story of Dome Watch. So it's now, we're building 4.0. We have lots of new exciting features. We're very agile. We only have one dedicated programmer. Sometimes we pull in one or two others to help at certain times a little bit. But it's a lot of fun, and more it's been accepted by the institution of the House of Representatives. So more and more we're getting help from the institutional offices, which is great. But that is a story of there's been articles written in the United States about Dome Watch, about how much it's used and appreciated. And some of them joke that if it was a private product, it could, sell advertisements at very high rates because of all the members of Congress and everyone are the ones using it. But we're proud that we built it in-house as a service. We think, parliaments, of course, their primary job is just making laws, but as any institution, they should also spend some of their funds and their office and their staff on innovation and changing the way things happen and to make them more open and modern. And so we're happy that we can be hopefully an international example of that. And we're happy to work with other legislatures, myself included, if other legislatures want to take similar actions. So thank you all very much. And it's been nice talking with you.